Today I'm going to be temporarily coming out of retirement as far as working on other people's vehicles is concerned, to do some welding on my friend Jackie's van. This is her pride and joy. She's always wanted one. She's going to fit it all out, so we're going to make it as structurally sound as we can by means of doing a bit of welding. And today I'm going to be concentrating on this floor step area. I've got the welder, bending machine, a bit of railway line for shaping metal, and I got the 3 aviation snips. Now one's right-handed, one's left-handed, and one cut straight, which just refers to which direction you're cutting it and the way it folds the waste away. But you'll see when I start using it. So as far as MOT welding goes, you know, just a neat patch continuously welded is adequate, but because Jackie wants this extra nice, I'm going to be making the welds as invisible as possible. So I'll take you through the steps and show you how I'm going to go about it. So the one thing you can always absolutely guarantee is it's going to be worse than it initially looks. So you just give that little tap and straight away, look, it's getting much bigger, which I would expect. It's got expanding foam and God knows what in there. And what a lot of people do is they try and keep it too small and too local. I mean, what's that about? But don't be afraid to make it big and neat, and get your joint somewhere which is going to be easily accessible. Look at this nice big piece of fiberglass in the sill. But hey ho, nothing I haven't seen a million times before. Right, so I'll start grinding and cutting. When you're welding and grinding, you need a fire extinguisher. I've had a couple of pretty spectacular welding fires over the years, and I can promise you, once something goes, you don't get any time. And the minute or half a minute it takes running around trying to find your fire extinguisher is going to be a big fire. So I don't have it near, I have it next to me, virtually with the pin pulled out. It's not paranoia, it's just, like I say, you get no time at all. And that goes for cutting as well. I mean, this van's only got a bit of upholstery in it, and that's what goes up. And it's a diesel, so there's no petrol involved, but there's probably going to be fuel lines behind this still. I'll have a look in a minute. But yeah, I would really stress the importance of having a fire extinguisher on hand. So there's the majority of the initial chopping out done. Look how close that fuel tank is. I must admit, I didn't stick my head under there to see where it was, but I just touched it, I haven't damaged it. But that'll have to come out before I weld along here. I can work around it for the time being. But yeah, it's very important to have a look and see what's under there. Fuel lines, brake lines, what have you, because they're so easy to cut through. Look at that. And yeah, quite a bit cut out. Jackie will probably freak out when she comes and sees this, but it'll be looking a lot different in a few hours. The first bit I'm going to reproduce is this section here and build off of that. See, it's got a double bend there and straight up, and then this laps over the top of it. And I bought my bending machine, which will make a nice neat job of it. So there's the first bit. Some angles bent into it. I'll just tack that on all corners. Shape it up a little bit more at the bottom, see if I can get that bend a bit tighter, and then weld it in continuously. I want to butt weld all these welds. I don't want any overlaps. They're not as neat, and they collect water. The next bit, going in there like that. I've had to put that profile in to match in with the existing. again, you could just weld a flat bit of metal in there and it'd be okay. But like I say, I'm trying to make it as neat as I can, and I'll hold it in place with my magnet. Because I'm so close to this fuel tank, I'm just going to tack that in there for now, because the seal is burning underneath and it's just not worth risking it. I'm going to have to drop the tank out anyway to weld into this seam here, so I'll just tack that and carry on building up this hill for now. It's getting a bit easier to weld now. It's cleaner metal to cleaner metal. It's not quite so spitty underneath. And I've just started making the new sill section, and it appears that the bit that comes up to here, because this is in two parts, it was filled over but I'm going to put it back how it should be, is exactly the length of my bending machine, which just goes to prove even a blind squirrel finds the odd nut. So we're back on this sill and step job. It's the second day. I made up this bit of sill to go in the top there. I'm doing it in two pieces because it's quite a complicated shape, and I think I can make it stronger this way. I'm just welding these little tabs on either end. I'm going to weld it, so when I butt weld it, it will give me a slightly easier job. So there we are, little return edge made. It's pretty breezy today, so it's blowing my gas away and making my welds a bit poppy, but when I'm going to make this return edge here now for the sill to mount onto, and I'll go over all this again, so it'll be nice. With the vise and the bending machine, I managed to make this shape, and this is the bit that continues this line on the front of the step. I'll get it the right way around. Oh, what am I doing? Like that. Bit of shaping up and welding, and we'll have something for the sill to weld to, which I've also got to make. So there it is, ready to weld. What I do is I make bits oversized and then cut them back. I don't make cardboard templates generally, that sort of thing. I find this way is a lot quicker and easier. Just make it a little bit bigger and trim it to where you need it. There's a little bit of overlap on there. That would be quite difficult to butt weld that all the way along, and for no real reason, so I'm just going to weld it up and grind it back, and I've done it right on the bend, because that's where the most strength is, so it's least likely to distort when welding. But we'll see how we go. Put a good few tacks along there, and that'll hold it nice and flat while I'm welding it. I'll do it in little sections again, just so I don't distort it. Next on the list is closing all this off. So I've got to fabricate this sort of dog leg bit. It's quite a complicated shape. Just basically give myself something to weld to for a flat plate going in this bit. So remake all these flanges as neatly as I can. It's quite awkward to get to.